dear faithful. In the middle of the 16th century, Europe was threatened by invasion from the Muslim Ottoman Empire, which was growing stronger and larger every day. When they demanded the immediate surrender of a key island of the Mediterranean, it was the signal that they were ready to invade Italy and there the rest of Christendom. Pope St. Pius V called on all the kings of Europe to send men and weapons and ships to give the Turks battle before they landed. But he asked all the people to pray the Rosary for the victory of the Christian army. Unfortunately, the errors and revolutionary spirit of Protestantism had recently divided Europe into various factions, too busy warring to spare any help for the crusade. In the end, Spain, Venice, and the Vatican were the only members of the Holy League. But while the kings failed to help the Pope save Christendom, the ordinary faithful Catholics prayed many, many rosaries for the victory of the Christian forces. And on October 7th, 1571, the Holy League, under the banner of the cross, and after Holy Mass on each ship, gained a miraculous and crushing victory over the Muslim fleet. Europe was saved, and the Muslims never attacked it again by sea. In the following months, Pope St. Pius V declared October 7th as the Feast of Our Lady of Victories, also known as Our Lady of the Rosary, to commemorate the triumph of Mary over the enemies of Christ. In our own congregation also, the Society of St. Pius X, we have experienced several great blessings in the last 15 years through the Rosary. In 2007, after we offered millions of rosaries for this intention, Pope Benedict XVI issued a motu proprio declaring that every priest has the right to offer the Tridentine Mass. The next year, after another crusade of millions of rosaries, His Holiness removed the label of excommunication from the bishops of the SSPX. And now these days, since December of last year, the whole world is under attack, not by a deadly virus, but by the rich and powerful of this world, who are taking advantage of the spread of COVID to create a suffocating atmosphere of fear and economic collapse. What they want is to create a new world, a new normal, through a process called the Great Reset. New normal involves a world in which abortions are legal, climate change is a dogma, gay marriage and gender perversions are socially acceptable. The leader of the World Economic Forum declared that the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our societies and economies, from education to social contracts and working conditions. My dear friends, this is war. As devastating as it would have been to the Church and to the world if the Turks had taken over Europe in the 16th century, these new enemies of the reign of Christ the King are an even more serious threat. If they get their way, starting with the US presidential elections next month, there will be a devious worldwide persecution of the Church. Perhaps we will be forced to accept the LGBTQ ideologies before we are allowed to speak or write in public. But more likely and more immediately, we will be required to submit to a vaccine made from the bodies of aborted children, those who refuse being forbidden access to all public transportation and public gatherings. Fortunately, the battle plan of the new Holy League is already formed. Our Lady gave it to us herself at Fatima in 1917. We must all pray the Rosary every day. Beg of the good God, through the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the victory of Christ over his enemies. Ask Our Lady to protect the few good world leaders and the few good bishops of the Catholic Church, and to convert or depose the bad ones. She has promised us that in the end her Immaculate Heart will triumph. But like Blessed Francisco, we will have to pray many rosaries first. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.